Hi, it's Patrick Lim and welcome to Project Concrete Jungle. We are on a search for local heroes to dig right deep into their brains and hear their origin story of how they started from zero to what they are today, a hero, or possibly a hero, or reiteration of similar terminology. Now, what we are looking for are basically individuals that has built really awesome businesses, or individuals that just basically have got a really thought-provoking project. Need not necessarily be making money or whatsoever. It could be just a plain hobby that is just plain kick-ass, right? So if you have been watching the show, if you like what you see or you don't like what you see, it would be great if you could send me a comment or send me an email with your thoughts. I would love to hear from you, be it good, be it bad, no big deal. What I really want, or what we really strive for, is an opportunity to continuously improve. On today's episode, we'll be talking with Michelle Ho, founder of Kindersoaps. She'll be sharing with us how she started soap making as a way to remedy her daughter's bad skin problem, and how that has evolved from a hobby to what it is today, a well-paid business, a well-paid small little business. So yeah, let's get right into it, shall we?
So you are getting ready now.
Okay. Hello, Michelle. Thank you very much for joining me this morning to talk a little bit about your business, Kindersoaps. Before we begin, perhaps we can share a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background before you started the business.
Oh, before I started the business, I was employed for 6 years. 3 years, and all 6 years were at unit trust companies. The first 3 years were when I was there as a research assistant. So I worked directly with the fund managers, and I just took care of the everyday, the day-to-day runnings for things like updating their spreadsheets and things like that. Then the subsequent 3 years, I was in another unit trust company, but this time as head of customer service and communications. So we took care of customer complaints, handling their submissions, and then also we were working with the agency side. Plus, obviously, we were also working with the fund managers as well, but this time to help edit their reports that go out to our investors. And then on top of that, we were also doing events management. So if we had a launch, then it will fall under our department as well. So that was my background. It's mainly in financials. Strangely enough, yes.
Financials? In
the financial side.
So when you were in school, you also trained on financials?
No, well, in school, I really loved my science. So chemistry was one of my favorite subjects. Mainly because I get to play with things in the lab.
You get to blow things up?
Yeah, we did. And we did. You should ask my husband. And we had a fantastic chemistry teacher in secondary school.
Right.
Eccentric, but really good. But beyond that, when it came to university, I started doing more. Actually, in my A-levels, I was still doing science-based subjects, chemistry, physics. Then when it came to university, I wanted to do architecture, and my parents said, no, better not. Why don't you do a business degree instead? So I'm like, okay, that's all right. So they sent me to University of Warwick in the UK.
Okay.
And for me, at first, I really didn't want to go, but in the end, the pull factor for me was that it has the largest art centre outside of London in the UK. So I was very happy in university there, and I did a Bachelor of Science in Management Sciences, which is a Rojak degree for people who don't know what they want to do. So yes, that was really good as a basis for business for me.
So did it help you when building Kindersoap?
It did, at least for taking care of the accounting side of things. Like for most handcrafters, you want to concentrate on actually doing the creating to craft and all that, right? That's when you're in your zone, you're the happiest. Whereas, but oftentimes you're so, if you want to really run a business, you really need to know the business side of things. You have to know how to keep your books, your bookkeeping, your accounting, doing up your profit and loss statements to know where you are, your balance sheets, then obviously stuff like forecasting and all that comes in later. So having that ground, that basis, the foundation laid during university and the school days, that really helped take away the worry of like, oh, what am I going to do, that thing. So that was very useful.
Do you feel that you had a degree? Did you go? You didn't go for your MBA. Did you go for your
No,
MBA?
no.
So do you feel that the degree is enough to give you all this foundation?
Yes, because at the end of the day, you're going to be learning on the job anyway. And your best school is actually outside the four walls, because you learn by hard knocks. And you're bound to meet other people who are either like-minded or able to, mentor you to where you want to get. And things like accounting, I mean, the day-to-day runnings and all that, you can ask other people. They're more than willing to help you. I found that, if you're willing to say, I don't know this, be humble enough to ask and be humble enough to receive their advice, a lot of people are willing to help you.
Okay. Let's talk about Kindersoap. What is Kindersoap?
Kindersoaps is it started off from a necessity. I wanted to just come up with a very natural, mild cleansing thing for my daughter, because she's my second child. We have three. She was born 3 years ago, and slightly, just like maybe a couple of weeks after birth, she started having really angry red patches on her joints, the neck. And I was like, that's telltale signs of eczema. I had it when I was a kid.
Okay.
And I know what it's like, because I lived with that until like maybe I was 12 or 13. So I was like, panicking already. I tried to find like some so-called mild cleansing things, like soaps and creams and stuff like that. And to me, all I wanted was just natural stuff. But the moment you look at all the labels, there are a lot of ingredients in there that are actually used to to preserve the product and to prolong its shelf life, rather than to actually treat your skin. So I was wondering, okay, then I looked up online and I tried to read whatever I could. Obviously, there's a lot of things that you have to, push aside and treat as that's not relevant or whatever. But in the end, we found out that actually those ingredients are not that great for the skin. So I was trying to look for natural alternatives. Locally, not very many available, and they still contain ingredients that I was not comfortable with. And I understand why they have to be there, is because if they're sold at a shop, if you don't have those preservatives, they will have a very short shelf life. That's right. And big companies can't afford to have perishable goods like that. So then I stumbled upon Etsy, Etsy.com, where everything's it's to promote handmade and handcrafted artisans, and I found a wealth of bath and body producers, bath and body product producers in the US. So I ordered some stuff from there. I mainly tried the soaps, and I liked it. Then I started to read up more about what is actually involved in crafting a real bar of soap. Then I discovered there are different ways to actually make the soap. One is melt and pour, which you start off with a pre-made base. Then there's cold processed soap. There's hot processed soap, French milled soap. So all these things, I learned about them, and then I said, you know what, I'm going to try doing this on my own. And it was so hard to find the ingredients. Because soap making in Malaysia is now picking up. But when I first started, it was really difficult to find suppliers, especially for...
It's something that you just don't go into any DIY shop and then there is a, make your own soap kit.
Correct.
You just pick off the rack.
Yeah, that's right. And the reason why is because the sodium hydroxide, or caustic soda, or you call it lye, is considered a poison. It's a controlled substance. Controlled substance. So you need to have a permit to actually buy the thing legally. So and I'm talking about in 99% purity. So I couldn't find that at first, but I hunted down some chemical lab suppliers that would allow me to buy maybe 1 kilo at a time at a really ridiculous price lah. But I was like, I really want to try this. So I got it. I found suppliers for like the base oils and the essential oils eventually, and I tried making it at home. And I tried different formulations, and the initial part was actually quite expensive, so to speak, because when you go for small quantities,
that's right,
it costs more.
Everything is in premium.
Yeah, correct.
But what really pushed you to that level? I mean, the thing that inspired you to really look into soap is because of your second child. And I mean, to a lot of mothers or to a lot of parents at the moment, they will just go to the level of what soap is good, what soap is not, and whether it's available, not available, that's about it.
Okay.
What made you just want to pick up soap making? I mean, it's like completely beyond already,
Yeah, that's true. I guess it's my my own personal thing where I like crafting. I like making things with my hands, and since young I've been doing that. It's either painting or building small things. That I like doing things with my hands. So I think when I started finding out that making soap is pretty much like being in a chemistry lab,
right?
And also being in the kitchen, which is I do enjoy cooking when I can. So it was like, there was an itch that needed to be scratched, and I scratched it good. So it was good because like I ended up, there was a deep-seated thirst or a hunger to know, like, why do I add this ingredient? Why should I put it in there? How does it work? Or why would that essential oil be good for the skin? And why could it actually be irritating to somebody else? So I actually started looking back into organic chemistry.
Okay.
And that was fascinating to me. So I think everybody will have a certain obsession. And for you, it might be making your bags.
Oh, yeah.
Making like great bags.
Yeah.
And then for other people, it might be making amazing jewelry. But for me, it just happens to be, you have a bar of soap, a humble bar of soap. What makes it so good? So, and then what are the ways that I can actually help people to solve this problem? Because eczema is very, very commonplace.
I know.
Yeah, I know. So, and then like there are so many people who are unnecessarily suffering, from it. So if I could actually make something that could help my daughter, why not extend that same thing to other people?
So which brings me to the next question. What made you all of a sudden just spark and go, let's make this into a business?
Okay.
I mean, you started, first it was to help out child. Second, it was curiosity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then did someone inspire you to start the business, or did you like all of a sudden just woke up, I'm going to sell this?
I think it was a whole lot of things. And Wuhan was very, my husband was very supportive.
Right.
I said, you know what, why don't you try running this as a business? And the other side was that I need some way to fund this obsession. But I still want to get my ingredients and I want to try different things and all that. And the only way that I can do it.
So at that time you were already like making batches and batches of soap?
Yeah, I mean small batches. I would literally run with like batches of 10 bars, And actually
you do with 10 bars, it's gonna like last you for years.
No.
Maybe you're making like what, 1 year supply of soap for yourself, for the family.
Yeah. It started like that.
It's like making brownies.
Pretty much. Yeah, the only thing is, unfortunately, you can't eat them.
No.
But they last a lot longer.
It looks same shape.
Yeah, same shape, exactly. But yeah, it started off with just small batches of 10, and then I was giving it away to families, friends, and they all liked it. Then after that, I just started selling. And then, obviously, at that point in time, I actually said, okay, I can't manage that quantity on my own for now. So I actually asked somebody else to make the soap for me. I gave her the formulations.
Okay.
And she's this lady in JB, so in Johor. So I asked her to make the batches first. And then after that, when I was more confident of my own getting the supplies and the soap making process, then I said, okay, you don't have to make for me anymore. I will do it on my own here. So I did have some help, outside help first. And she was the one who actually advised me quite a bit.
So she's like somewhat like a seafood.
Yeah. And she's a mother also,
right?
Like me. And she's this tiny, I think she's not more than, she's about 5 feet something.
Okay.
Very small lady. And she talks really fast on the phone. It's like, okay, slow down.
Chili buddy.
Yeah, chili buddy. So she's really lovely. And I'm glad that she shared what she did. So yeah. I'm, part of the reason why I'm able to do this today is because she gave me the confidence and the foundation at the start.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, but when you wanted to start, what were the challenges of starting that business? I mean,
it's a lot of it was to do with your own thoughts. Like, okay, your doubts. They're saying, will there be enough people buying this? Will there be a market, or am I just deluding myself?
This is the first time you're actually embarking on a business. Do you have any experiences of running any businesses in the past, or
not at all?
No,
not at all. It was just gut feeling all the way.
Were you selling paper stars when you were still in primary school?
I was too busy making those paper stars, but never selling them. Never selling them.
Okay,
But
so
yeah.
you had no experience whatsoever.
No, except for what theory that I gained during university days.
Right.
And even then also it's like
It's like textbook theory.
Yeah, but you don't. For me, it wasn't like, okay, I refer to this book for this advice. No,
Right.
I never did. It was more of like, okay, what should I do to get the word out about the soap? So I just asked those people who use the soap that, if you like it, could you tell your friends about it? Or but only if you like it. If you don't, you tell me.
Okay.
Kind of thing, so at least I can. And the best thing about running your own business is that, and especially when I came from customer service background, I can tell you that I'm sorry, your investments have lost ground already, and there's nothing I can do about it. But if you're running your own business, you can say, okay, you don't, your skin doesn't agree with this formulation. Let me try and either custom blend something for you, or I advise you to do to get something else to try for your skin. Or it's like, look, if you try everything already, by all means, please try somebody else. And because people come with a particular skin problem, and obviously it's something that it's literally a pain, so I say you just don't give up looking for something that will work for you. If my stuff doesn't help, I can recommend you to somebody else who does, who also makes soap or also does natural skincare goods. So it's nice to be able to know where to direct people to, or what alternatives that you yourself can offer them as a business now.
Do you feel that is a competitive advantage on your end, on your business front?
What do you mean?
I mean, these days when you buy facial or if you buy any skincare products, right, you just walk into the store and then what you see is what you get.
Okay, yeah.
Right, and do you feel that by providing customers that advice helped you?
Yes. Because when the moment you start offering as unbiased as possible advice, people start to trust you. Even if I say, okay, why don't you just try some other goods? Then they will say, hey, how come you're not trying to keep me, in your sphere of products? Why are you actually recommending somebody else unless you yourself know that you actually trust them? So I think that builds some kind of a more trust there, because then you don't feel like you're just trying to capture people to yourself and force them to buy something. Whereas if you go to a shop, they'll try to. From my experiences, like maybe I've experienced all the bad salespeople or the inexperienced ones. They say, "Oh, you should try, sign up for a membership program or what?" Or then I say, like, that's not something that I really need. They say, "Oh no, then you try something else lah, or why not this product? Or maybe you can come back another day." So I don't like that kind of sales talk.
Okay.
And you can tell immediately that these people are just in it for their commission.
Yeah, that's right.
So I don't want to. I don't like to impart that kind of experience to people. So it's like, look, if you come to me and they say, I've tried everything, I want to try your stuff, but if it doesn't work, I'm not going to come back to you again. I'm saying that's fine, because my primary concern is that you fix your skin problem. If I can't do it, I will point you to somebody else that you can try. Just keep looking, because at the end of the day, the most important thing is that you get your skin fixed.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you have any help learning how to run a business?
Sorry?
Do you have
any help?
Yeah.
Not
I bet it was
directly.
challenging. I bet at the beginning you probably didn't know where to start to register for a company.
Yeah. I went and talked to my mom-in-law, because she runs a business.
Okay.
So, my parents-in-law run a construction firm, construction company. Then she is the one who actually handles all the accounts, the business side of dealings.
Right.
So I asked her a lot. And then she actually taught me how to do the books, where to go to do the company registration. But even then also, she was like, she just pointed where to go, but the actual running around I did on my own, And then beyond that, then she just basically advised whenever I asked her anything. But it's actually quite straightforward. After you get the basics down and you get your books in order, you're okay.
What sort of emotional roller coaster you went through when at the beginning of starting the business? I mean, what were the high points? What were the low points during year one or year zero?
Right. Obviously there'll be time, because when you first start, your name is not out there yet.
Yeah.
So there were times where like 2 or 3 or 4 weeks would go by without a single sale.
Right.
And then then you're wondering, okay, am I doing the right thing or not, you know? But the important thing is actually just to bear in mind there will be slow periods. You just have to do, okay, if you're not busy attending to customers, then get busy doing something else that will build the foundation for the business. So I was actually doing a lot of writing, blogging, and then also, you know, just basically just getting in touch with people and then seeing whether they actually needed anything for the skin. And then those are the low points when you don't see sales. And you question yourself whether you're, you know, doing the rational thing or not. Then the high points are when you suddenly realize that you don't have to be rational, you know, to aim for all these things. Because when you set lofty goals for yourself and you actually achieve something in between, you just get such a rush from it. Like suddenly to date, the first time, the first real high that I got was when I got called in for an interview with BFM.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was my first interview, and I was talking to Frida Liu, and that was such a like wow moment, because I've heard her from my school days, you know, on the radio. Yeah. And then now I hear her again.
And face to face.
And face to face, and she's such a lovely person, and I had so much fun just talking during the interview there. So, and then having some sales come in from that interview, that really was, for me it was good lah. Yeah. Then the other high points will obviously be, you know, parents of children who say, you know what, I tried your soap, and for so many years my kids had a skin problem. Most of the time it's eczema. You know. And then after like a week or two of using the soap, it's cleared. You know, they don't itch so much anymore, or the thing is cleared completely. I don't have to give them medication or creams. You know, I can stop. I'm like, to me, that's the best thing that anyone can tell me after using the soap. That makes all the difference. Then you get like, okay, your conviction is that I'm doing something right. I'm on the right track. Let's keep going.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
So starting this business from your home, literally from your kitchen. How was it like during year one? I mean, how do you get people to notice?
Yeah,
notice your soap.
Yeah. Well, I took part in bazaars. At first it was every other week, weekend. And then from there you build up. And then in my case, because it's a perishable good. Right. And people consume it. So if they like it, they'll come back for more. So I've got regular customers there. And then they tell other people about the soap. If they really like it, you know, they'll rave about it, and then other people end up buying. So that's how it's a very organic, slow process, but it's one that sticks. Right. Yeah,
so it's just getting products out there, getting out retail.
Yes. Yeah, well, to be retail, I do it mostly online. Right. And the blogging, hopefully when people search like handmade soap or all natural soap in Malaysia, they'll end up on my blog or on the website, and then they can purchase.
Is there a lot of that?
Actually, to be honest, I haven't checked my analytics for a while already. But I do get a lot of people say, "Oh, I came across your website." Right. So I'm sure there's something.
But was it like that in year one, right? When you're just constantly looking at Google and at analytics.
I was looking at
why is it still zero?
Nobody's visiting my page. Like why? But in the end, actually, because I kept writing, I think the content really helped lah. Yes. Yeah. So that pulled people into the website, and people were ordering from there. But at the same time, I did have a physical presence by going out to the bazaars, but not that many even. I'm always in bazaars near my area here in PJ, so I don't go too far because I don't want to stretch myself. Right. But yeah, physical presence and also online presence together.
So, sorry, my eye's been tearing for a while.
Oh, no.
Not because it's today, it's because I think something's wrong with my prescription.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah, I'm getting old. So, all right. What about how long did it take for the business to end its course of being a hobby to a full-fledged contributing business?
Not too long. Yeah. Honestly, it was like. When you say contributing, it means that it's cash flow.
Yeah, exactly. For once you start to see cash coming in, or for once you know that on a daily basis, probably be able to get like a sell-through or maybe a couple of soaps.
Yeah. That took about. I think if you're prudent speaking about it, that would be about a year, I would say about a year and a half. But in terms of cash flow, it was always coming in, like maybe about 3 months after I started.
3 months after you started, you started to see sales coming in.
Yeah, the sales were coming in. They were slow, but they were steady.
Right. But before that, you were already seeding the market by giving it to your family, giving it to your friends.
Correct.
So the moment they start to see, okay, Michelle is finally going online, she's selling.
Yeah.
She got a little bit more inventory. That's where they start to buy more.
Yeah, correct. But a lot of word of mouth first now. So you just say, okay, I'm selling soap. And I at that time I was still working, you see. I was still and when I was at the company, I already told them that this is something that I'm doing also because I started because of my daughter lah.
Okay.
So then from there the interest from colleagues grew, the word went round.
Were they supportive? I mean,
yes, yeah, they were.
As a corporation, to know one of their staff is actually moonlighting.
No. No, I mean, like, I don't think the company as a whole knew about it lah.
Right.
But individuals,
friends,
yes, individuals and all that.
Did it affect it at the time? I mean, one of the biggest challenges is you go to work 9 to 5 and next thing you come back, you have kids to take care of. And where do you find the time how do you squeeze the time out to actually do this sort of thing? When
you're obsessed with something, you will find the time, and it doesn't feel like a drudgery.
Right.
And you're so, I mean, like when you're doing something that you like so much, you get so stoked for doing it. It's like then you suddenly realize, oh, wait a minute, it's 3 a.m. Okay, I gotta go sleep. I gotta go to work tomorrow. Then up again. You know, so that was quite. I mean, I really enjoyed the beginning stages because it's so exciting. Just finding out all that. Okay, because like the next also on your mind or on my mind was at least, what are the ingredients that I can try next?
Right.
When my batch is ready, then I'm going to try on the skin, because for making soap, you can't use it straight away.
Correct.
But for me, I make cold process soap.
Okay.
So there's a curing period of about 4 weeks.
Yeah. And
from the time that you pour, slice, and to the time you can actually use the soap. So that waiting period was like, okay, what do I do in between? So that was, I mean, that really kept me going. And
the thing nice about your site is that you really take your audience on the experiment, on the prototype process with you.
Yeah, that's fun. And have you seen it where I had one huge slab that I had to chuck because it really looked like somebody had shot a person and it was bleeding?
Oh no!
No, okay, go look for it. It was a batch of soap that had honey in it, and I think I overheated the batch, so it burnt the honey. That part of the soap didn't solidify. So when I peeled off the lid, it started to bleed.
Ooh.
It was literally like the whole, all the honey was just dripping out of the bottom of the thing. I was like, oh crap, I can't sell this, and that was literally $1,800 worth of soap.
Wow.
Down the drain. And it's like, there's no way I can save this batch, and there's no way I'm going to sell this to people because I don't even know what happened at that time, before I gave it some thought.
Which brings me to the next question. Financially, how do you started this business?
My own money.
Yeah.
Own money. I mean, at first you have to build up your supplies, obviously, and knowing how to price your products is very, very important.
Yeah.
Because so many of the times, like I've actually had some other soaper friends also are saying like, you know what, I don't think my customers will pay that price, so I will lower it. Then they suffer lah. They can't. I mean, then cash flow is tight. They can't get the supplies that they need. Then they can't really grow. So, but in the initial part was like we really just forked out our money for this, and then obviously Wuhan was earning a lot more. He
helped out as well.
He helped, yeah. So
otherwise, you will come to a point whereby, we don't have a Doraemon pocket. Let's put it this way,
exactly. That's right. So I had to make sure that when I make the soap, it must sell. And in order to do that is obviously to find out like, okay, what do people need the soap for? Most of the time is for eczema, dry skin, then oily skin. Those are the staple things. And then once I had a few soaps that were selling very well, then I could afford to really, okay, what other more sort of like whimsical things that I can come up. But all of them come back to I have the foundation of, is it good for your skin? That is the basis lah, and that is my niche, so I work towards that.
So was it, were there moments whereby you were just really stressed out financially because everything is all stretched up and the sales are not coming in,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
there's
that
not
was
enough sales coming in.
correct. Yeah, that's when you start getting creative
Mm-hmm.
with you know, what are the things that what are the other things that you can do to try and bring money in.
Do you have experiences with that you could share?
Well, I've been not concrete ones lah, but there are other things that I can do to do sale to do promote the product and all that. So I ended up doing, like, trying to go for magazine interviews.
Mm-hmm.
That was very good exposure that helped to pick up sales. Then I tried a different craft market. That was fantastic. That was a fantastic move, because now I know this place is where everyone will actually go down, and it's a buyer's crowd.
Okay.
So experimenting lah, you know, if you want to get more sales, maybe you have to actually branch out and get a wider audience or reach a different audience. You never know whether it's going to work or not, but the important thing is that you try. Then I would like to actually come up with an ebook, but that's a work in progress. I mean, that's part of the reason why. That's part of the reason why I blog about the process.
Yeah.
The mistakes.
That's right.
So and the thing is that there are a lot of ebooks or tutorials for making soap overseas.
Mm-hmm.
And in temperate countries, soap, when you make it, will behave differently than here in Malaysia. So I'm seeing whether I can actually come up with something that's more for for tropical climate, making soaps in a tropical climate. So yeah, but we're beyond that now. The regular customers are there. They're like funding anything, and I've got wholesale clients as well. That really helps with the cash flow.
Okay, so through the course of your business, I mean, have you encountered any like hecklers or, you know, supporters or the naysayers? Maybe to share a little bit about those. I mean,
naysayers.
See, the reason why I came up with ConcreteJungle is because every time when we talk about entrepreneurship, the first thing I encounter is, no lah, I cannot do one lah.
Right.
No lah, there's no business in that.
Sure.
Or worse, you know, you started selling your soap at bazaars and stuff like that. To some people, they will just say that I spent so much money sending you for university, and then you come back and sell soap in Pasar Malam.
Okay, yeah. No, I didn't. I'm very, very fortunate, very blessed. I never got anything from that. In fact, the biggest naysayer I expected to hear from was actually my mom. Okay. But she didn't. She was actually very supportive. And they said, okay, this is what your business degree is for. Go for it. You know, because one day they've always wanted to see me as with my own business. Oh, okay. But were they entrepreneurs themselves? No, they weren't. And they've always been employed. You know, my mom was always working. Was most of the time she was either a teacher, a very good teacher, or she was at home with us, a homemaker, looking after the kids. But she always, I mean, the reason why they gave me the chance to go to do a business degree is so that in the hopes of one day, if you decide to do your business, you can, you should be equipped. But in terms of like, okay, the other people, like when I do go to bazaars, then people ask me, oh, you're selling soap. You know, so what's it good for? They smell, they like it, and all that. Then when I tell them, like, oh, it's $20 a bar, they say, what? Exactly. So expensive? I'm like, I'm handcrafting this. I can tell you exactly what ingredients go in there and why. Yeah, I have a friend who when I first started off, when I was making all these bags, the first thing he said was, yeah, but people don't buy bags because of the fabric or because of the material, or because how strong it is. And so why do they buy bags? It's just design. They just want it cheap. That's about it. Right. Okay. Well, then again, I do believe that there are people out there. There's so many people in the world. Come on, you know. So it's all about targeting the right market. Correct. That's right. As long as you know who exactly you're going for. Like if you're going for the premium segment, then by all means go approach them by channels that are available to you. You can be writing to, like, say, aeroplane magazines, in-flight magazines. Those are the travelers, the business travelers and all that. If they see your thing and they like it, then you've got a customer from there. But the important thing is to know that you don't have to sell yourself down. Right. Especially when you know that it's not just a bag that they're buying, but they're also buying your skill. Yep. Where you're crafting your bags, your what's the word? Your tailorment, your tailorship, whatever, the craftsmanship to go into really making proper stitches and all that. And let's just say there's something wrong that goes to your bag, which shouldn't happen, but they at least know who to go to. Right, to fix it.
Same with your soap.
Yes, that's right. So it's like if there's any problem, they got a question, a problem, a doubt or whatever, they know exactly where to go to.
Right.
So in a way, paying $20 for a bar of soap, yes, it may be expensive if you're planning to just buy one time and go. But if you're talking about the relationship that you build, and then let's just say that you come by later and say, oh, I found a friend who's got another problem with the skin, or they've got a newborn baby who's got a rash or whatever, can you recommend something? I can talk to them directly and advise them. Or if I say that, don't do this for this person because maybe it's a different skin condition. And you have a friendship there as well. I'm not saying you buy friendship, or you're paying for the exclusive thing, but it's more like you are paying also for all the other things that go into the crafting about. So like you have no idea. I have to spend so much time doing the initial packaging, because whatever you see in that bar of soap, right, I design the packaging, I write everything that's there, all the blog posts are by me, the formulations are also by me, so there's a lot of soul that goes into that bar of soap.
A lot of passion.
A lot of passion, and I like to think that you get a little bit of love every time you buy a bar of soap. But yeah, know your value. Don't underprice yourself. And that's happening. I think a lot more people are aware of that, but they just don't know how to translate that into actual sales.
Yeah, that's right. 3 things for you to share with new inspired entrepreneurs. Yeah.
I say the most important thing is to get started, do something. Like you might have a great idea, but if you don't act on it, it's just going to be an idea that people cannot. If it's something that's going to help someone, the only way that you're going to be able to do that is to actually get it out there. It may not be. I think who is it who wrote that? I think it was Guy Kawasaki. You can ship data, but don't ship crap.
Or don't worry, be crappy.
Or something, something like that. But I mean, of course, don't give them a complete piece of rubbish, but the important thing is that as long as you get your
the core fundamentals of the objective is
you get it out first, and then you get feedback. As long as you know that you're going to act on that feedback and make something that's even better, keep on, your iterations, your subsequent iterations are definitely going to be better. Then just by all means get that out first, because like if I wanted to create a perfect bar of soap, I'll never get it. There's no such thing as perfection. It's just something that will appeal to your customers. Right? And of course, you have to make sure that I think Guy Kawasaki also said that life science companies ignore this piece of advice because you don't want to ship something that's not tested or whatever yet. But other items, you can actually do it. Start off small first. You don't have to get your packaging perfect. You don't have to get your sales copy like completely there first before you release it. But if your product's going to help people, just get it out there first. Get started. That's one. Dream big. Don't just say, I'm going to sell this to PJ people only. Or I'm going to sell this to only Malaysians. Kind of thing. Go beyond that. Because if your product is something that's really is life changing and all that, why constrain it to only your locale?
Right.
Offer it to other people, or like some people say, like, oh, are you the next Anita Roddick? I mean, that would be nice, but if I can actually make it so where I don't have to put preservatives in my stuff and you still get all natural goods, I'm all for it, so I'm working towards that now. That's the second thing, dream big. The third one, dream big, be irrational. Okay, because there are going to be a lot of naysayers, like you mentioned.
Yes.
If you really believe that the thing that you are offering to people is going to make a difference, a positive one, don't care what they say.
They'll always be there anyway.
Yeah, I mean, not to disrespect anyone or anything, because everyone has their opinions and their things. But if you encounter a piece of,
I feel that they just do not understand your perspective, because they are not in your mind. That there is this black box.
Yeah.
And
correct.
Yeah.
And I feel that if you feel most alive, the happiest, the most energetic, when you are focused on the thing that you want to bring to life, and somebody comes in and throws cold water and then you feel down again or that, right? Then obviously, what is the what is the most obvious answer that you're going to go for? You know, what's going to make you feel excited to get out of bed every day?
Right.
What's going to make you feel stoked and like, okay, this is the next thing I'm going to do? Are you that you feel so energized that you keep on moving, or are you going to opt for the way that's like, okay, you know, this is safe, it's tried, it's tested, it's also very, I won't say soul sucking lah, you know, but you get what I mean, right?
Yeah.
It's just not it doesn't excite you, it doesn't ignite something under your bum. That's not, you know, if you're an entrepreneur, that's not the path that you're going to take. By all means, let yourself go along the path where you feel most energized. I think that's a pretty good gauge to see like whether you're on the right track or not.
Right.
But of course, don't let your over exuberance cloud the other things. Like, obviously, just make sure there's money in the, cash is king.
Yes.
I think money is there, because if you run out of money, that's the end of your business as well.
Yeah, it is.
You know, so I would classify that as the third thing. You know, always make sure that you have cash. Cash flow must always be there, because that's the only way that you can make sure your business survives as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are the three things.
Last question. What do you think you are? Zero or hero?
Hero in some way.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Because we're all crazy. Heroes have to be a little bit crazy, because you're doing something that's out of the ordinary, something that people think, you know, I wouldn't do that. Kind of thing. Yeah. So because zeros can't help people, really, you can't. If you don't think that you have something to offer, and then you're going to be, you're not going to be able to help very many people.
But do you feel that it's difficult to go through the process of zero?
To get from zero to hero? Yeah, because well, again, I think it's a lot to do with your own mental state,
right?
Your level of confidence in your.
So always think hero. Then that's when you drudge through.
I suppose. I mean, but when I say when I refer to hero, I mean it in the most humble form, if that's possible.
Yeah.
You know, but I think striving always for a cause that's larger than yourself, that actually gives you the hero factor, lah.
Right.
Let's just say that if I just said, oh, I want to make something that's great for my skin only, you know, then I'll probably just go there, you know, to just that level, and you'll just stay there, I'll stagnate. But once you start thinking of, you know, there are so many different people with different skin problems, you know, what are the things that I can do to help them? That gives the extra push, the extra energy. You know, it's actually from a reservoir, whether you think the energy is from the universe, yourself, or God, or whatever, you know, but you just have to learn to tap into that. And one of the best ways is to actually look for a cause that's bigger than yourself. Aim towards that, rather than, you know, just for your own needs. Whatever. Look at other people's needs and see how you can best fulfill them.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Those very good questions, Ivan.
I try.
Well done.
Today we'll be talking with Michelle Ho. She's the founder of Kindersoaps. Listen to how this 3-year-old mother